What is up, everybody? We're here for another for a surprise live stream, actually. So, I am kind of bored. I'm supposed to be going out on a date with my fiance, but she's kind of tired, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. But so in that case, since she's asleep, I figured I'd do an additional stream, but instead of a really one where we're actually reacting in live time, because I'm gonna make that the main content of the stream. Instead, it's gonna be a discussion stream. So we're gonna talk about we're gonna discuss things like on this stream we're gonna do talk about worker cooperatives. We're gonna discuss like employee stock plans and other, and things like that, because I think these are um, very much something that need to be talked about when it comes to uh, advocating for different systems. And I figured um, since I managed to get a pretty big position into my company relative to my net worth, I feel like I have like some degree of like ability to talk about this. Like I feel like I know a little bit about like employee stocks to be able to put my 2 cents in on like ownership collectively versus private ownership through stocks, things like that. So trying to oh, here we go. And then I'm going to add past live streams. But no, I want that to be yes, like that. All right, now we're gonna publish that view channel. All right, past live streams. Oh, I better stop that because that's so. It's good to see that my show is up. Um. Oh, cool. It gives me a Streamlabs link. Yeah, I switched to Streamlabs actually, so I'm no longer doing that. Also, um, I need to figure out how to add my socials. How do I add my socials? I have no idea. Well. Oh, well. So Discord, YouTube, Twitch, those are all available. Well, you're on YouTube if you're watching this stream because I don't have a way to stream to multiple servers just yet, or to multiple platforms just yet. So just go to my YouTube channel. You can join my Discord. You can join my Twitch, etc., etc. Um, I would not worry about my Patreon just yet. So, oh, this is on Twitch? Oh, cool. But yes. I need to add my logo here. Let's see. Brand. Add profile picture. TCDP. Save. Let's see. Profile banner. Custom image. Upload. Photo. Probably not big enough. Oh, good. It actually worked. Because it didn't work on YouTube, I have to increase its size. So, but yeah, so this is my Twitch account. But I obviously do not, fuck. Get 5 people chatting at the same time. Ow. So, oh, I guess guess this works. So there we go. I hate the fact that it won't... Oh, because it'll only let me update my username in 2 months. Oh well. YouTube, Discord, blah, blah, blah. Thinking of also making a Twitch account, or Twitter account, I mean. I'm gonna hate myself for that, but, you know. Someone's gotta go there, you know. I'll get a bunch of rape threats and death threats from fucking Nazi, you know. So that's gonna be fun. Looking forward to that. So, you know. But anyway, so now that oh, that'll be something I'm gonna want to watch later. So on this stream I want to discuss employee stock purchase plans, which is a means to own a share of your company that you work for, and I want to compare that with worker cooperatives. So let me use my situation for an example. So I own shares of Walmart, 150 shares at the moment. It's over, couple thousand, over 12,000. It's a lot of money. I'm going to be straight up. I am probably petite bourgeois at this point, but on this stream, we advocate for class awareness. That's kind of the whole point of this, is class awareness, and understanding what's going on beneath you. I am a strong advocate of that. As a member of the petite bourgeois, I still work a full-time job. That is how I get my stock. And I want to and now let's explain what this stock does. So when you own shares of a company, there is the option to participate in the shareholder meetings, which in the shareholder meetings you have the ability to vote for the people that will run the company. This is the board of directors. As a shareholder, you are essentially an owner in the company. And unfortunately, it's not a perfect system because there are still outside shareholders. And those outside shareholders can have a very negative impact on the company. And sometimes those external shareholders are big shareholders. Like, they are not doing shit, but their capital is responsible for most of the price appreciation. So why would you want to own stock in your company? Because if you are one of the proletarian members of an organization, you could, if you don't own shares of your company, you would not have voting rights, which is key in a worker cooperative. As a member of a worker cooperative, you vote on the direction of the company, and that is and you get that with employee stock. But like I discussed before, sometimes you have big shareholders in that company that have way more influence than you ever will in a million goddamn years. So should you hold employee shares? And honestly, unfortunately, it's the other reason while I do buy into my company, because I do believe that I should have a say over the direction of my company just by mere virtue of being a socialist. There is a reason why the system overall is fucked and should be reformed. So as someone, in order to become a shareholder in the company, you have to use your own capital, versus in a worker cooperative where, to my knowledge, you just, by virtue of working there, you have the same rights as every owner, or as an owner, because you're basically a fucking owner. You just by mere virtue of working there, you have the right to a say over the direction of the company. Which, speaking of which, if you wanted to get involved with the stream, feel free to go to my page, click on my Discord link. We can discuss. I'm looking for, at the moment, maybe 2 people to help out with the stream because my big issue is laziness. I should be publishing segments of my first stream because I had to private that one due to accidentally sharing my email, and so now the only way that the content of that one is visible is if I publish the clips, the individual segments, and then I have to go to that one where I flashed my email and then take the email out, which would be a major bitch. But it's like, I feel like the reason I want to bring this up is because I intend to form it as a cooperative, kind of practice what you preach. Because let's be honest, I don't know why more business owners don't want to do a cooperative. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I've never had a business before. I don't know how to fucking get it off the ground. It'd be nice to be able to have a team of people to work with. There's so many reasons you might want to start a worker cooperative. Because if you give other people a say over the direction of your company, then they could provide you with some very valuable insight in, like, you know what I mean? So a worker cooperative system is definitely a way more, valuable way to go. Why is it completely implausible, not implausible, but unrealistic to have associate stock instead of a worker cooperative? Because let me explain to you the reason why I am able to hold such a large position in my company after saving for only a year and a half. And the reason this is because I am kind of grandfathered in. We hear this about all the rich people out there, like we're talking billionaires. So, hi Sweetness, how you doing? Welcome to the show. I actually set up Streamlabs, so now you can actually see the chats on the screen. And as I've been talking or discussing, this one is comparing employee stock purchase plans to worker cooperatives. Why do I say that I'm grandfathered in, so to speak? Because while it is true I did not grow up with any inheritance or any wealth previous to where I am now, like I started at zero and with thousands of dollars of debt, and I managed to turn that around. But why was that possible? Because it's not possible for everybody. Well, it turns out there's a reason that that's possible. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment. Oh my god, how can you afford it? $650 a month. And that's because I've lived here for almost 16 years. In fact, I've been renting from my landlord for 16 years as of the beginning of October, when I was in his other property down the street. We moved here a couple of months later because there was a domestic violence dispute, and we had just suffered an arson fire. So we were moved here, and that 16 years is not coming till December. But either way, it's due to that why I pay such a small amount of rent. I'm also childless. I have no kids to take care of. This frees up another massive amount of my income. Probably a reason why a lot of people hate gay people and trans people, because we ain't having kids that much, baby. That saves us a lot of money. Salty bastards. But anyway, for real though, so why does this matter? Because not everybody is lucky enough to have such a low cost of living. My rent is already as low as it is, and I split the rest of it with my fiance. She pays $325, I pay $325 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment because I've been here for almost 2 decades and things like that. So Not everybody has this advantage. I, however, do. So if they don't have that advantage, then they cannot buy into the employee stock purchase plan, because that is the only way that you would obtain voting rights and say in the direction of the company. You actually have to buy in, and not everybody can do that. Versus a worker cooperative where, like I said previously, just by mere virtue of working there, you have a say over the direction of the company. You're called a member, not a worker. I do want to actually look into various different worker cooperatives. There's actually, yeah, you rent from family, pay $600 a month. Yeah, that's actually, is it, how many bedrooms does it have? 600 a month, that is pretty good. That's actually less than what I pay here. So now let's look into some worker cooperatives. One that I know of is actually very familiar. In fact, I would probably say you should go back to living under that rock if you've never heard of this, because this is at every fucking Walmart around the world, and then some on Mars and on Jupiter. Yes, it's at the Super Center on Pluto. There are so many like this, like, yeah. Let's take a look at this one. Ocean Spray. Ocean Spray is a cooperative of cranberry growers that offers a range of products from tart and refreshing juices and snacks to fresh juice and mixers. Now, Ocean Spray, if you know anything about Ocean Spray, 1 bedroom, not bad. Me, I kind of need the 2-bedroom because we have a lot of shit, and my partner and I don't want to buy a storage unit because it's more convenient to have it here. So we have our 2nd bedroom dedicated towards storing all our shit that we don't immediately need. It's really tidy. It looks completely disgusting. So let's accept all. Products, recipes, about us. Let's go here. Trying to find 3 bold farmers, 1 innovative product. That's all it took for the Ocean Spray Cooperative to get growing. I love that. That's a cute pun. To get going instead of get going, it's get growing. I like that. Marcus Uron, John Makepeace, and Elizabeth Lee worked together to create the jellied cranberry sauce before growers from Wisconsin, Washington, and Oregon quickly joined forces. Within a decade, Ocean Spray became the first producer of cranberry juice drinks with products sold on store shelves from coast to coast. So this is a very, very well-known brand that a lot of people actually buy, and like you've probably given some to your child if you have one through for breakfast or maybe as a drink, because like I said, they're just so famous. They're a cranberry company, and their shit's so good, guys. I love their stuff. Like, it's just so good. I love it. But yeah, this is a very successful worker cooperative. This right here, this little logo, is proof that Ocean Spray, a worker-owned company, actually works. AKA socialism works, and it's based. You really think socialism is when government do a thing? No, that's not socialism. This is when workers actually have a say over the direction of their company. Now, I do want to talk about unions. I agree with unions in principle, right? Worker worker collective bargaining is a really good principle, but I think having to unionize is a symptom of a greater disease. It's not a good thing. So why do we unionize? Because we're being abused by the capital class, the bourgeois class, and they don't typically like to let us actually have a life full of dignity. And we are constantly at their whim. They can fire us whenever the fuck they want. So we band together to make sure that doesn't happen, and we collectively bargain because they can fire one of us, but they can't fire all of us. So in principle, a union is good. But in an overall system, or in the overall system, what is it? Well, I call it a capitalist concession, because basically what it is you're agreeing, essentially, hey, I agree to live in a highly exploitative system. Just please treat me a little nicer. Please. But that's, in my opinion, unions are pussy shit. They don't go far enough. You need worker-owned means of production. Collective organizing should be encouraged, especially in a system like this, but we should not make unions the end goal. It cannot stop at unions. We have to actually go from unionized capital based business structures to worker-owned collective cooperative structures over time. Like, I do believe that we need that. So very pro the concept of a union, but not for the long term. Over the long term, we eventually need to scrap the system entirely and form our own cooperatives. Because if Ocean Spray can be this successful, then that is a good sign. Yeah, so what are some other worker cooperatives? Actually, before I discuss another worker cooperative, let's look into, like, say, the benefits of an associate stock purchase plan, and then I want to discuss the flaws in it. So, employee stock purchase plan. And I'm gonna use Walmart as an example, because this is directly what applies to me, as I do, like I said, hold a position in my company. So let's look at Walmart. I am not a financial advisor, and I'm not even doing this to promote the stock. This is all part of the discussion of why the associate stock plans of different organizations versus worker cooperatives may not be the best solution. So first, let's see. No, all right. Eligibility, enrollment, and effective dates. Let's see what we got. So, is this it? If you are an hourly Hawaii associate, medical and short-term disability and paying premium as well. Wait. This is supposed to be... Oh, this is the benefits book. This isn't about the associate stock plan. That's... has nothing to do with the... Here we go. Everything you need to know about Walmart's employee stock purchase plan. Although this is unfortunately going to be... trigger warning, it's probably going to be from a pro purchase plan perspective, so be prepared for your brain to liquefy and fall out of your ears. If you need to put like a bowl right here to catch it, and then like a little scalpel so you can try to put it back in, a scalpel in a funnel, just cut open a little hole, put the funnel in, spill your brains back in, you might want to get those tools now, because this is probably going to be slight brain rot, but here we go. If you work at Walmart, you have a great opportunity to buy company stock at a discount through payroll deductions. Walmart's associate stock purchase plan makes it simple to invest in Walmart's future success. Um, should you participate in Walmart's employee stock purchase plan? Here's an in-depth guide on how the program works, its costs and benefits, and what to consider before investing in Walmart stock. Walmart offers its more than 1.6 million US employees. And I want to come back to this, right? Because this is going to be very important. So let me, I hang on. Is there, I don't know. The option to buy Walmart stock through automatic payroll deductions. You can contribute from $2 up to 125,000. Oh, that was so nice of you guys. Did Riverboat actually actually discuss the stream? That that was so nice. Yeah. I yeah, I do watch a lot of streamers and her content was actually really nice. But yeah, so in terms of so yeah, you can contribute up from $2 up to 125,000 a year. You get a 15% match on contributions. Again, this is not advice. I'm critiquing and comparing. Like I said, this page is unfortunately from the blah blah blah. So you do this, you get this, as an associate. Oh, that was so nice of her. Um, so now in terms of the Walmart stock purchase plan, what this does is you get voting rights. Now let's discuss. Not all shares are created equal. Some shares um, do some shares do offer voting rights. Others do not. But how do voting rights work as a shareholder? So, if you're voting in a company that you hold a stock in, a voting right is the right of a shareholder of a corporation to vote on matters of corporate policy. It is common for shareholders to voice their vote by proxy, by mailing in their response, or by relinquishing their vote to a third party proxy voter. Unlike the single vote rights that individuals commonly possess in democratic governments, the number of votes a shareholder has corresponds to the number of shares they own. And this right here is a major problem because this actually, like, this is my whole problem with why I actually prefer a worker cooperative model opposed to employee share model, despite the fact that they both essentially offer the same benefit. So in a shareholder, dominated model, a shareholder owned model, you your vote is based off of how many shares I have. So I only have 150 votes in my company. And that's on a $12,000 position. Nobody has $12,000, let alone 150 votes. This unfortunately still creates a massive inequality in the control over the company that strongly disadvantages the proletarian class, or even, the petite bourgeois, those of us who hold ownership in the companies that we work for. So what could be done about this? Well, we need a very strong redistribution of wealth. Um, Once you do that, we can. Unfortunately, this does sound like a lot like social democracy, but it is something that we need. Like, the people at the top have too fucking much, and they need to distribute it to those of us at the bottom who are frankly struggling. Um, so now here's another reason why the employee stock purchase plan doesn't exactly isn't exactly the best solution in any economic system. So when you let's say you are one of the lucky few and you work for something like someplace like Walmart, which is a Fortune 500 company, and you're just fucking killing it. Basically, the store would not survive without you, and you made it into that manager position. Well, half your job is sitting at a fancy little computer desk in the back of the store, um, reaching out to other businesses, ordering stuff, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that, setting schedules with the people lead, you know, things like that. And you know what you get when you sit on your ass for half your shift? $10,000 stock grant at the end of the year. While the people below you, the most they get, if they contribute $35, which is the way to max out your company stock contribution for Walmart, you only get $270 through a company match. It's 15% of the first $1,800 that you put in there. And most people don't even have $1,800. The only reason I'm able to have so much money is because of the fact that I have probably the one advantage that if more people had, there would be no such thing as a poor person. But unfortunately, we are humans. We need to reproduce in order to survive. So there are going to be people who have kids. And rent prices are going way up. So that's another thing. Food prices going way up, which also is another problem. When you have the employee stock purchase plan instead of a worker cooperative model, you're a shareholder in the company. And the company is doing everything they can for you. So you're kind of contributing to a problem here when the prices are being lifted or increased because they want to increase the returns to make the balance sheet look better because it makes the line go up. So if so a lot of people are going to be understandably pretty mad at you because of the fact that, of that. Like, people should not have to pay more in prices in order to benefit the company's shareholders. And so therefore, in a worker cooperative, how would this be a little bit different? How would this be different? Because you don't have a stock. You don't have a price that needs to go up in order for you to generate a return. You don't need to own stock in order to receive a dividend. Which, by the way, speaking of the dividend, you know how much the dividend I receive per year is? So for 150 shares, the dividend itself is 0.2075. I suck at math. So let me pull up the calculator. So 150 times 0.2075. That's $31 every 3 months, which is basically $120 a year. Once again, this is a $12,000 position. You cannot live off of a $120 dividend for a year. But the major shareholders, the ones who essentially override the rest of us at the bottom of the ladder, they are pulling in a pretty hefty dividend each quarter. Like, we're talking millions. It can essentially replace their salary. That's what I'm talking about here. And these are the people controlling the company, actually controlling the company. My whopping 150 shares, which converts to votes, versus their millions of shares, billion-dollar positions, hundreds of million-dollar positions. In a worker cooperative, this is more distributed equitably. Like, everybody has the same vote. There is nobody at the top who has more votes than you. You know what I mean? So every vote is distributed evenly because everybody has a say over the direction of the company. And the best part is your wealth, your life, your nest egg is not, to my knowledge, dictated by the direction of the company. Like I said, because it's not stock. That's the major difference. If it's a stock, that implies that other people can buy into the position, people who maybe don't work there. See the big difference? And they can vote to cut wages, vote to increase the CEO's salary because they're the ones with all the shares. Now, I want to get back to exactly. Exactly. And that's when I want to get back to the 1 point, what was it? 1 point, where is it? Fuck. Here we go. 1.6 million US employees. So Walmart this year, earlier this year, it went through what is known as a stock split, which is not in any way has an impact on a person's market value, but it does grant them more shares. It doesn't, so it does not increase the person's equity. But you know what this also does? Kind of gives the owner class even more shares. Yeah. So if you have 1 million shares because you're a big fat Richie, then you now have 3 million shares, 3 million votes in the company. And if we were to take a more fair approach, where the employees would have 1 vote, same with the rest of the shareholders, if we were to go the next step up and not fully annihilate the corporate structure, there would still be billions. Walmart has 8 million shares outstanding after their 3-to-1 stock split this year. So 1.6 million votes is not going to, do much. So what would I suggest? What do I think should be done about a system of inequality like this? Well, for starters, to make it more equitable immediately, I do believe, and this is where it's difficult because, and it's so frustrating, not everybody can afford it, but it is the only way, before you get to the point of just tearing down the system and actually starting worker cooperatives. The next step before we get to worker cooperatives is for the people who work for the company to start hoarding their own shares and taking it out of the capital class. But then we come to the next problem here. Stock grants. That $10,000 stock that managers get at the end of the year for sitting around half the time is a stock grant. The company makes up stock out of thin air and gives it to their managers. And what effect does this have? An effect called shareholder dilution, which means if you, as a member of the working class, own shares in the company, then every time a manager gets a stock grant, your equity goes down and you lose power. You lose voting power in the company. The stock grant, basically you get free stock, but in order to get that free stock, the company basically just makes up the shares out of thin air because that's basically how it does. Because there's probably not going to be enough sellers to, at any given time to give however many hundreds of thousands of store managers there are that much money. In fact, isn't it usually 1 store manager per store? How many store locations does Walmart have? Oh, yeah. So $10,000. Some managers also, by the way, get $20,000 stock grants. So the 10,000 is just the lunchbox Walmarts, as I call them, the little tiny diet Walmarts that don't have grocery stores. So let's do 1 point. So we'll do 15,000 because we're gonna average half the managers get 20, half the managers get 10, and then we're gonna multiply that amount by 4,611. So that is $69,165,000 of value being just basically given to these managers. And if every associate only holds, I'm going to copy this. How many associates working for Walmart? $2.1 million across the globe. No. In the US, 1.6 million. So we're gonna do 1.6 million, and then we're gonna multiply that by, let's say the average associate holds, like, I don't know, a $300 position. That's a pretty small position. That's only a few shares. And then we're gonna do that. So that's way more than what they're giving the management, but it still doesn't take away the fact that the what was I? I'm always losing my train of thought. Oh my fucking god. Anyway, okay, so that's how many all the associates, managers included, own total. Now I want to subtract the how much the managers would have to take away the no, come on. Do we remember how much it was? It won't let me paste it. It was wait. 60. Alright, so 69, 165. So minus 69, 165, 00. And so, what the fuck? Clear. Alright, I'm so confused. Where are we? $480 million. So 480 minus 69,125,00. Okay. Okay. So 473 million 87,500 is not is basically how much the average associate would hold if everybody had a $300 account. But there's just one issue though. Let's look at the market cap of Walmart. So we're gonna go ahead 473 83 500 market cap of Walmart. So as it stands right now, Walmart has a market cap of $653 billion. So let's just divide 653,75000 000. Okay. At the moment, oh shit, it's a really, really ugly number. So this is the percentage of equity that all shareholders who are working class associates would hold whatever this looks like, which I imagine would be 0.0000000 something percent. Like, there's a lot of zeros after a decimal. That's a really small collective position. And it is for this reason, in this system, even if employees buy into their company in order to try to gain rights, they can't fucking do it. This is really small. This is a really small collective capital that workers would have. And this is why, understandably, a lot of, like, if you're a capitalist and you're watching this, this is understandably why a lot of socialists just don't like the stock market. Because the stock market as a whole is, even if you participate in it, is still made to benefit the bigger guy. Like, it's so fucked up, because if you're saving your entire life, you just cannot really get by, or you just cannot save up a decent nest egg before you're old enough to retire. Even in a 401k account, like, the amount of time it would require in a non-margin, or the amount of money you would need. Oh, me neither. At best, I would consider myself more compulsory, but ideologically socialist. So compulsory capitalist, basically, that's another thing. So you can be what I would call compulsory capitalist in a survival sense. Like, let's say the system is so bad that the only way for you to get out of it, because to not do it would be the end of it. And I would argue, if you buy into your company, the company you work for, that would basically make you a almost like a compulsory capitalist. If you if you believe in the principles of socialism, that would make you ideologically socialist. If you run a business, that would make you just capitalist. You're just a capitalist. If you run a cooperative, then that would make you, in practice, socialist. And that's kind of what I want to do with my show. I actually want to, one of the reasons I invite people to join my server is if anybody wants to become involved. You could just basically shoot me a message on Discord, and we can discuss, like, say, a potential role. But basically what I want to do is run it like a cooperative, because I've never run a business before. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And it would be nice to have some help. I really do think business owners would have benefited way better if they had the ability to start if they had chose to start a cooperative, because input of the people who would be below you in a business structure could actually prove helpful. And that is why it's so frustrating as to work underneath somebody else, because they're not open to your input. They don't care. They want it done their way because they're the boss. And then the business 9 times out of 10 fails because someone else may have had the magic key, and you told them, fuck you, I want my business to fail. I know I suck at this. I don't care. So yeah. Basically, compulsory capitalist is not the same as ideologically capitalist, in the sense that you can be compulsory capitalist in the sense that you, maybe the only way you're able to actually increase your own pay is to buy a portion of your company and leverage it, right? So the way my stuff works is I would take a chunk of my paycheck in the form of equity, and then I would send it over to my brokerage account to leverage it to pay my bills. It's what the rich people call the buy, borrow, die strategy. But basically the way that would work is my money would stay invested and it would engage in those capital fluctuations, which when you add the yearly return to my wage, it adds up and almost artificially increases my compensation on my own terms. But in reality, it's still not a good solution, because as we've discussed in this show, this position right here, like this minus sign implies like it's a decimal, like it's a piece of a percent. So this is a very small position, $473 million versus a $653 billion company. There is no way for workers to gain any sort of say over their working conditions in a company like this. So that's why I wanted to do this stream, because I wanted to try to explain. I keep forgetting what I define compulsory capitalism as. Basically, if you identify as, with the socialist ideology, but the way the capitalist system works, you kind of are forced to work within it. Like, for example, a classic, like you're forced to work within the system, then that would make you compulsory. Essentially, you're not really a capitalist, so it's such a bad example, but essentially, I want you to think of compulsory heterosexuality. Back in the day when LGBT people did not have rights, if you were gay, if you were a gay guy, you still had to get a girlfriend. You had to have a family. You had to have kids, or else you could face jail time or whatever. And so in order to not essentially have your life destroyed over something so fucking dumb, then you would be compulsory heterosexual. Like you would marry a woman, not because you want to, but because it's all you can do. And it's that same principle. If you don't buy into the company, you're essentially fucked. And so therefore you have to engage in the capitalist system in order to survive. Thus is the term compulsory capitalist, which in my opinion is not really capitalist, because you're not really benefiting from that. You're still at the bottom. You still have no rights. Like, let me take you think this number 4 is bad? Let's take my sole position in the company, my one position, $12,000, and divide that by the company's market cap. Where is it? Just my one position, 653.75. So 653.70. No, not a point. 75 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. There's the billion. Now we're at this number, -8. I'm wondering if the number here is how many decimals can be done. The way to overturn the capitalist system, I like Vosh's how Vosh recommends it. I think he said something about first we actually start the cooperatives. We get them popular and have cooperatives compete with the regular business structure. So this would be an example of the compulsory capitalist. You are a worker cooperative. So you are, for all intents and purposes, as a business structure, you are socialist. But you have to compete against other businesses because that is the system you are in. So when people start working for cooperatives and they realize they have more control over their salary, they're going to stay with the worker cooperative. If they're able to actually take care of their fucking family, they're not going to work for fucking Walmart. You kidding me? Who the fuck is going to want to, oh yeah, I think the system is better when there's someone standing over me like this and telling me I'm not working enough. Yeah, nobody's going to want to work in that system. They're going to want to have a say. And if their manager's a piece of shit, they're going to want to have them out the next voting cycle. So worker cooperatives would gain power, and the business structure, the traditional business structure, over time would die out. And so, therefore, that would probably be the more realistic approach. And then later on down the road, you engage in electoral politics so that you can elect socialist, actual socialists. Like, I'm not talking about the pussy, milquetoast, sock dems that want to be like, oh, I want to get Medicare for all and I want to raise the wages and stuff. You're not going far enough, dude. You're basically conceding that capitalism is good, just treat us nicer. And that is, so the idea is, if sock dems are the only candidates you can vote for, then you take the win where you can get it. But the goal should be to elect socialist politicians that would actively seek to try to dismantle the system legislatively, piece by piece. Yes, definitely. Tankies, we do not like tankies. Yeah, on this channel, that is why I call myself far left, but not far left. Yes, there is a distinction. The far left, is a bunch of whiny people who are like, oh, I want socialism, but I'm not going to do anything about it. The far left are the people out there who are like, I want socialism, and god damn it, I'm pissed off. I'm now like looking at ways to advocate within the system. And then the far left are people like me who are out here trying to stream and essentially burn down the system. And then the far left and on are the tankies. Like they're not only doing everything that I'm doing or less, but they're actually defending things like fucking gulags and labor camps in North Korea. No. If you're a socialist, you hate genocide. You hate forced labor. If you support these things, you're a tanky. Like, no. And let's not deny that the Tiananmen Square massacre happened. So, but yeah. So, what I want to do is... Oh, that's interesting. It showed your last... And China and North Korea are basically just fascist. It's funny, because I don't see that in the Streamlabs chat. Why is it not? That's weird. Huh. Yeah, I've never seen that before, but then again, this is the first time I'm streaming. Maybe it was a glitch. But anyway, but yeah, so this was my little surprise stream. I'm gonna try to wake up my fiance and see if we're finally going out, because we gotta do grocery shopping. And yesterday's date didn't happen because we went out, and unfortunately I'd gotten so fucked up that I passed out. We opted to stay home and watch Deadpool 2. It was very funny. I loved it. I love how he referred to one of the X-Men, quote unquote, but she was actually a girl, with the pink hair, referred to her as Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony. It's like yes, Pinkie Pie is one of the best ponies, but Rainbow Dash is still best pony. So, but anyway. So yeah. Yeah, I heard about, is that what that, now the Nokos, yeah, North Koreans are, oh, yeah, it's not that it didn't work out. We basically decided, just because I was so tired, even though, and that's the funny thing, I love Death Wish coffee, don't get me wrong, but it didn't do anything. I was so tired because I had not slept because I don't sleep at night. I sleep during the day, except for on my days off. So it is midday and I'm awake. But unfortunately, tomorrow I'll be asleep during the day because I got to return to work tomorrow night. And I was also high as fuck. And I think it's an indica because it keeps making me want to sleep. In fact, right now, as I'm coming down from it, I just want to go to the fucking pillow. But, oh, I don't need to wake her up. She's right here. Say hi. Sweetness is in the chat again. But yeah, alright, well, thank you for watching my stream. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to like and subscribe. I am going to quick show my Patreon, but you can't really do anything to it or with it yet because of the fact that it's being reviewed by the Patreon team. But when I'm all set up, in terms when it's approved, if it's approved, I'll link it into my I'll link it onto my YouTube channel. But as you can see, I got my logo here in the profile pic as well. Great to see you too, Sweetness. Thank you for watching the show. So right here, it says, it's obviously the name of the show, the Comedy General Podcast, crashing the world with the trans supreme great gay matriarchy. And then these are the tiers. Lieutenant D General, you get rights in the trans supreme gay matriarchy. Oh, plus you get a thing, and what's included? Private show every Saturday. $75 more. You also get you get to lead your subordinates around in the interest of the gay matriarchy. You also get to enjoy the following benefits. Private show every Saturday, just like the first tier. Shout out every stream. And then Lieutenant Colonel the General, because this was Colonel the General. Every bigoted LARPer bows to you in the gay matriarchy. It initially was every bigoted initially was every bigoted dink, which was a word I used as a kind of an alternative to the slang term for like a stick and with two strawberries. But then when I actually because instead of having the C in there, you put the letter N, and so you get dink, like dinky. But then I looked it up, and it turns out that's actually, so I will not be using it anymore. It turns out that it's actually a derogatory slur for Southeast Asians, so I will not be saying it anymore. And I'm probably also going to put that along with other problem words in my word filter, so it doesn't appear in my chat. So I took that out and changed it to LARPer. So every bigoted LARPer bows to you in the gay matriarchy, plus the following benefits. Private show every Saturday, shout out every stream, talk to me on stream. So this is the one where you get to, yeah, I didn't know either. I was just using it as a friendly substitute for the slang term for dick, and it turns out that like instead of saying you're a dick, you instead say you're a dink. But then it's like, whoa, wait, that's what that word means? Yeah, no, I don't want that word to be used anymore. Holy shit. Like, yeah. Yeah. Trust me, if you said it on my stream, I forgive you. I actually didn't know myself. I'm actually glad I found out sooner rather than later, before it became my first controversy. Oh, Michaela is anti-Asian. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I love all our Southeast Asian friends. So everybody's welcome on my stream. Yeah, so the Lieutenant Colonel, exactly. Slurpees are good. Go get Slurpees, avoid the slurs. That is, I love that. That is a good name. In fact, if I post a little notification about the rules, think I might steal that. Slurpees are good, slurs are not. no hateful rhetoric in the channel, no hateful rhetoric in chat, blah blah blah. But yeah, so the third tier, like if you wanted to call into the show and talk to me, like the only reason I even have the paywall for that is because I want to make sure that actual fans do it, because I don't want to end up in a situation where like, oh yeah, like yeah, I do agree. Um but yeah, I don't Yeah, so I don't want a situation like what happened on Vosh's channel where he's getting random ass trolls sexually harassing him and saying not Nazi shit on his platform. Like I don't want that on my platform. So that's why I kind of want it hidden behind a paywall. So that only like actual fans, people who genuinely want to participate and contribute to the show in a productive manner, they can call in. So these will be the three benefits if my Patreon is approved. And the first time it's approved, I'm going to go ahead and post to exactly love over hate. But yeah, so this is definitely going to be published. Yep, crashing the world. See, this is the theme. It's gonna be kind of a almost like a bit, like a main bit behind the show. So like the show is, yes, there's a lot of genuine activism, but the pretense is obviously satire. Satire, that being, like since like a lot of feminists, especially the anti-SJW types in the past, would say things like, "Oh, you don't want gender equality, you just want female supremacy." Got him. Like no. So it's kind of a satire on that. So we don't want trans equality, we want trans supremacy. So therefore, crashing the world with the trans supreme gay matriarchy, and that is the inspiration for the thing. So I love it. Exactly, the TERFs. I actually saw a Reddit post a long time ago where the TERFs actually said that TERF stands for truly empathetic radical female or something like that. So it's like it's such a transparent attempt at trying to like turn something that is bad into something good. Like it's not bad that I'm transphobic and blah blah blah. I hate trans people but I'm but I'm empathetic. No, you're not. You're a clown. You're a clown. That's some clown shit. You're a clown shit. That's not empathy. Oh, like, and it's like I admitted to having been a survivor of sexual assault on a forum, and I was told by a TERF who hates trans people because of sexual assault or something that that it was my fault because of what I was wearing. So, like, I was fully head to toe dressed when some of these incidents happened, and I've been through multiple incidents. There is no, and it's like if I told her, because she said that she was a survivor too. If I said the same thing to her, she would obviously have a problem with it. Yeah, unfortunately, the world sucks. But thankfully, the most recent severe case of it happened 2 years ago. Still troubling, but I'm getting over it. It's one of the reasons why on the last stream, when I was going through that Stormy Daniels content, I kind of was worried that it was going to touch on sexual violence and stuff like that, because Um, exactly, there is no excuse for it. And whether or not someone's trans also doesn't make mean you deserve to be assaulted. But yeah, it's one of the reasons I probably, I might casually drop the mentions of it on stream, but I do, definitely I do. I used to carry a switchblade with me, but I don't trust myself with those anymore. So I stopped doing that. Um, these days, I just carry pepper spray with me. It's definitely less risky in the self defense field anyway than switchblades because with switchblades, sorry, but if you're trying to rape me, I don't care if I kill you. Like I'm not going easy on you. I don't fucking care if I kill you. I personally don't want to use switchblades as a method of self defense because it requires me to get close to you. Whereas pepper spray can be fired at a distance. Um, so pepper spray I decided was the better option. Um, oh yeah, yeah, because I can't. I don't know if I can get a gun. I think you have to be. Maybe I can because we did do the stream on the last stream. We did look up exactly. Don't go easy on those fuckers. Like they know what they're doing, and it is not an accident. And you know, unfortunately, I can speak to that because that's kind of what happened 2 years ago. It's why I'm so sensitive about the subject. Like, I just can't talk about it on stream a lot because every time I talk about it, like right now, I can feel almost my hair standing up on the back of my head just mentioning it. But topics that have sexual assault as like a center of it, like for example, the lawsuit that was filed against Trump by someone who he sexually assaulted a long time ago. Like, I can't cover content related to that. And abortion itself, you might also see, while I may cover it, I may not cover it as much as I cover other things because if I find anything that mentions that like for example, you'll never ever see me talking about a child being forced to have their rapist baby because that is the kind of stuff that would send me into a TOS violation. I would not be like I would be I would probably be saying some things that would get me banned from the platform. So, and especially when it comes to abortion rights, like I take these things just so seriously that I can't rationally talk about them on stream. In fact, that's kind of why I was almost freaking out in Riverboat's chat the other day when she was streaming every time the topic of abortion and children and sexual abuse comes up because it's like this shit's personal to me. Like I can make fun of the Stormy Daniels shit because I find it to be clown shit that fucking Trump is paying a goddamn porn star to shut up and is making that an official presidential act. But yeah, but in terms of my actual stance on it, on those topics, I take the murder is wrong approach, the duh approach, the obvious approach. If it's not your body, you should just stay the fuck out of it. In terms of sexual assault, well, in terms of sexual assault, you commit that kind of stuff. What's that down there? Oh shit! He fell into a fucking acid puddle. Oh, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I did not push him into that acid pit. I swear. I swear to God, officer, I didn't just dump someone in a goddamn pit of acid. So yeah, that's my stance on those issues. Rapists deserve to go into a pool of acid. And I say that ironically because I don't believe in the death penalty on this show. So Um, and abortion alone should not be dictated by men, or anybody without a uterus. That includes trans women too, and AMAB non-binary folks. But contraception, on the other hand, is an everybody issue, minus cisgender men and any trans people that don't want, like, say, the progesterone shot. Because there are some trans women, such as myself, who receive the Depo shot, which is a method of birth control, and cisgender women obviously use that to not suffer. Cisgender women and transgender men and AFAB non-binary folks all use the Depo shot in order to avoid painful periods, unwanted pregnancies, things of that nature. Transgender women, on the other hand, we use specifically the Depo shot. Not all of us, because most of us get it through the pill, the progesterone pill. But my insurance was not covering the pill, so Planned Parenthood switched me to the Depo shot. And that's how I've been getting my progesterone. And so contraception is an everybody issue. Everybody who's receiving progesterone, uterus or no uterus. And so I strongly advocate for everybody to speak up on that issue for everybody on this channel. So, yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. You can ask my coworkers if I don't shut up now, I'll never shut the fuck up. I don't stop talking. I love listening to my voice for some reason. I don't ever stop yapping. So, I love you all. Thanks for watching the show. Like I said, don't be afraid to go onto my Discord. I'm going to eventually try to sign up for Streamlabs. Ultra, Streamlabs Ultra, because I do want to be able to stream to Twitch and YouTube. So I'll let you know when I have that set up. In the meantime, if you want to go ahead and follow me on Twitch, I will pull it up right here so you can see it, because I do not, and I'll also link it in the chat. Oh, thank you, Sweetness. We love you too, and we're glad you're a fan of the show. So let me quick sign in to the chat on my end. Wait, no. Is it that one or Moon? It's that one. Okay. All right. So to those of you who want to follow me on Twitch, this is my Twitch link, and then I'll get the Discord link as well. Here we are. So and then this is Discord. There we go. So, yep. So that's so the first link is Twitch. The second link is Discord. If you enjoyed my show, I encourage you to go click those links. Also like the stream and share it with your friends on socials. And I'll see you in the next show. I plan on doing an actual political live stream. Where we actually will go look up stuff. I've got a lot of stuff right here that I want to go through. For example, Harris leads Trump by 5 points. I want to see what that's about. Trump, this one's a big... Oh, Sweetness says, bless you. Yes. She says thank you, and she did it kind of with a Stitch voice. She's like... But yeah, this one kind of concerns me, how on election day, Trump floats sending the U.S. military to fight us evil radical lefty commies who are the enemy from within. You know, Hitler verbatim, and you know, lots of other fun stuff. We're also going to talk about some sciencey things, like apparently NASA finally found out what happened to the water on Mars. So if that's the stuff you're interested in, be sure to tune in on Friday morning at 8 o'clock, assuming I'm not asked to do overtime, which the only time I would ever postpone a show till a little bit later in the day is if I've been asked to do overtime. Um, Otherwise, I'll see you on Friday at 8 o'clock. Thank you for watching the show, and